I see my family on television, my sisters, the queens of the planet. Go ahead. Who are you, sister? I'm bitches with problems. What is a bitch, sister? And did your mother make you a bitch, or did the world make you a bitch? Who are you, sister? I'm a whore with an attitude. Did God make you a whore, or did the white man's world make a whore out of you? You're being set up. They put out a movie on you called Colors, and they send it all over the world. They're preparing the world for your slaughter, and there won't be an outcry nowhere because you are the animals of American society. You are the bitches and the whores of American society. You parade your nakedness before the entire world with a string up your behind. What kind of black men are we to allow that to happen to our women, and we put it on the cover of our album? What kind of man are we? They put out a movie recently, Menace to Society. Who's the menace? They show little children in the movie. Take a drink. A mother and a father feeding them a drink. This really happens in our life, but it don't happen in everybody's life. Why does that have to be portrayed before the world? See, you're trying to do good. And some of the writers, some of the movie producers and whatnot, you got a good idea in your mind, but you ain't controlling nothing. That's the problem. Because the bigger guns behind you say, we can use this. See, now, you call it Menace too. If I'm John the Second, there gotta be John the First somewhere. Well, if I'm Menace 2, who's Menace 1? That I learned to be a menace to society from. That's the hidden menace. That's white supremacy. But now they made you a menace to society. And they spread that all over Africa. All in Europe. There's a new book out by one of our brothers, one of the Crips. It's called Monster. I hope brother's wife is here, Sister Tamu. Very pleased to see you, my sister. Her husband, a former Crip. He's in prison today. By the help of God, he'll be out in 2 years. He has reformed himself in prison, but he's now telling the world what he did, how he did it in the days of his ignorance. He's no longer ignorant. He's becoming a wise man. However, the publishers have another aim in mind. So the book is a #1 seller in Europe. What are the white Europeans looking at Monster for? Why is it interesting to them? Because through the eyes of our young brother, they are seeing all black people as monsters. And what do you do with a monster? You get rid of him. I saw Luke Skywalker on television recently. And my brother was talking about how a Japanese girl performed oral sex on him on the stage. This is what we pay our money for. You can't take your wife to a movie no more. You can't take your daughter to a movie anymore if you want decency. Janet Jackson does not curse, but in poetic justice, she's cussing. What is that saying to those who admire Janet? That it's all right to come out of your mouth with every filthy word that you can because my hero does it, my heroine does it. I say to you, black man and woman, you're selling out and you don't even know it. You turn on your television, black comedian on. Every third word is that MF this and F that and that, so and so this and You don't give a damn no more how low down you are, how funky you have become, how rotten you look in the eyes of the world. You don't give a damn no more. You have lost your sense of shame. So you're no longer human beings. You've become a race of animals. I'm your brother, damn it. And I love you. But I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and watch you destroy yourself and our people and our future with your foolishness. The Bloods and the Crips and the gangster disciples and the El Rookans and the Vice Lords, soon they will become the army of God and the army of righteousness. And we're going to put a stop to your foolishness. You're not going to misrepresent us to the world for a damn dollar from your enemy. We're not going to allow that to happen anymore. We'll snatch your behind off the stage and whip your ass. community and enforce righteousness. We're not going to let slick talking white men or corrupt black men merchandise our women for filthy purposes. We're going to put a stop to it. I'm warning you now to give you a chance to get your act together. But tomorrow the army will be knocking at your door. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide, because you live in the hood with us. You're being set up. So when an unfair judgment comes down and you go to burning and you take your little pop guns with your false sense of invincibility and you roll out, then white folks gonna roll in. And since you love blood, they're gonna make you shed your own blood, and you will drink your own blood. And the Bible says you will be drunk with your own blood as though you were drinking sweet wine. These aren't the days of wine and roses. This is the day of the end of filth and indecency and the destruction of us as a people. And I'm saying to all our artists, you are the vanguard of social change in America. One song from an artist can do more than a host of sermons by any preacher, probably with the exception of myself. Because I ain't no ordinary preacher with an ordinary message. I'm an extraordinary preacher with an extraordinary message filled with the Spirit of God to transform human life. I'm almost finished. I love you, and I will give my life for you. To me, you are the most beautiful people on the earth. I see so much good in you, so much God in you, but you just need to be healed. Go ahead. Stevie Wonder brought more joy into people's hearts with songs in the key of life when he talked into the problem of human suffering. We need more songs like that and less songs about your booty and shaking your backside and I want to freak you out. We got to stop it, and we got to stop it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Tell the damn record company, I'm not going to be no funky nigga for you no more. Tell them. And if they ask you where you get that from, say, my conscience is bothering me. God has stirred a fire down in my soul, and since God gave me my gift, I will not pervert my gift and corrupt my people with my gift. I want you to clean up your raps Clean it up. Because each one is playing into an overall picture to show the black people in America as subhuman and worthy of destruction. And when white folks start killing us, there ain't gonna be no outcry, because they're getting rid of monsters. They're getting rid of Bloods and Crips. They're getting rid of bitches with attitudes, or bitches with problems and hoes with attitudes. They're getting rid of dope pushers, dope sellers. They put you on TV the other day in an Asian jewelry store, pistol whipping an Asian woman, pushed them down behind the counter, robbed the jewelry store, then as you were going out the door, reach over and shot them down. They put you all over the world as an animal, setting you up for the slaughter. They put you on HBO, armed with guns, letting the world know you're dangerous, so when they kill you, there won't be no outcry. You're being set up, and you're falling into the trap. Whether you like what I'm saying or not, I ain't trying to win no damn popularity contest with you. I'm telling you, for your own good. This is like a final warning. I may not come back to LA again. I don't know how long God will allow me to sound a final call, because whenever there's a plane to catch or a train to catch or a bus to catch, when they say final call, it ain't forever. Now let's wrap this up. I want to say this, even if you are stung by what I said, or even angry, go home and in the quiet of your room, think about it. Because each one of us can do better. I want to put pressure on Paramount, pressure on Columbia Pictures, pressure on agents, pressure on managers, pressure. And if your stuff won't sell no more, then maybe you'll understand, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan quit at the height of his career, and he quit with these words. He said, I wanted to stop while I was at the pinnacle, rather than wait till my skills declined and I could feel a foot at my back. Because you that are sports figures and great sports figures, your only time span is the length of your skill. You're nothing but a piece of meat that looks good today, but what do you look like tomorrow when your skills decline? And remember, song stylists, you're only as good to the record companies as your latest hit. And when you stop making the hits, No matter how well you used to do, you'll see them. No, don't mess with the sound. Don't bother with the sound. I don't think they mess with the sound. It's me. I keep banging away and the mic start falling. I don't want to outstay my welcome. But you all are very special. Johnny Gill, one of the finest voices in the world today. Our brilliant, magnificent brothers and sisters. Poor Michael Jackson. He's become a god. Michael Jackson is one of the finest young men you'll ever find. Michael Jackson is a very deeply spiritual man that most people don't understand. It ain't what you look like on the outside. It's what's going on the inside. You say Michael is strange because he finds joy being with children and with animals. But the reason he's like that is because of wounds inflicted by grown-ups who only see the value of your talent and what they can extract from you and how they can cheat you and rob you and abuse you and misuse you. Michael is tired of the world. Michael would rather be with an animal because whatever the animal is, that's what it is. It ain't deceitful. But human beings are full of deceit. So he asked the question, why you want to trip on me? Whole world going to hell and you talking about me? Why you want to trip on me? I looked at his video. I saw an animal and a human turn right into an animal. You don't know what Michael is saying. Michael don't talk. So you got to learn how to read Michael. Michael is a spiritual genius. I see so much God in that man. And I know that persecution and what he's going through, if it don't destroy him, it'll make him an even greater individual. Some of Michael's family is here, and I want his father and his brother to know that I was in the West Indies, and when this stuff broke, and at a certain point the tears came down my eyes, and I told my son, I said, try and get in touch with Michael. I said, because I hope he's not considering suicide. To get out of a world as low down and rotten as this one is. Michael is a sensitive person. And I just don't believe that they would have handled no other white artist big as Michael like they handled our brother. Michael has become a god. Michael is the quintessential performer. And whether you like Michael or not, there's something to that man that is deeply spiritual that touches the souls of people. And the enemy does not want Michael to ever become political and turn his feelings into words and words into song and songs that will start a cultural revolution. So they want to destroy Michael now, like they want to destroy Stevie and you, my brother. We got a classy sister over here that she's so magnificent. Sister Dionne Warwick. To all of you, Martin Lawrence, to all of our entertainers, help me. I can't do this by myself. One of the greatest rappers that is in the world today, Ice-T, he's right here. He's one of the greatest in the world. Ice Cube, stand up, Cube. Let me say this. These are our giants. They can turn the world around with a rap, with a song. And all I'm saying to you, beloved brothers, yours is a gift that came from God. And you must use your gift for the glory of Him who gave you the gift. And you must use your gift to facilitate the rise of a people who are being crushed. Will you do that? Will you help me to do that? I would like to close this subject. Y'all all right? I'd like to wrap it up with something real strong. I hope you will stay with me. Since we are all wounded, white, black, brown, red, and yellow, where will the healing come from? How will the healing take place? And what kind of healing must there be in 1993? What does the Bible and Quran and the prophecies of the Native Americans and the Chicanos and the Incas and the Mayans, what do they say about what we should look for at this time? In Mesoamerica or Middle America, the most famous figure of Central America is Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is the Christ figure of Central America. He also was supposedly born of a virgin, comes into great knowledge, is persecuted, and is killed. And in the traditions, they're looking for Quetzalcoatl to return again. The Jesus Christ figure of the Bible comes into the world as a teacher. But everywhere you see Jesus, you see him doing some act of healing, making the blind see, the deaf hear, the dumb speak, raising the dead to life, casting out devils. He's beginning the work of restoring the human being to his or her original state, which is one of divinity. You are not just human beings, you are divine. No, I don't want you to clap, I want you to think. You are direct descendants of the Creator himself. If your nature and his nature is the same and he is divine, then each of you has that divine spark in you, but it must be fed, it must be nurtured, it must be developed. Then you become a human human being, then you go on to manifest the divine attributes and characteristics of God. Jesus was set upon and crucified, but the scripture says he is to return. And he don't come back like he went away. He comes back with power. Power to do what? To enforce the medicine that he gave initially, and to destroy the false doctors who have misused his message of healing and misused his name and contributed further to the wounds of the human family in his name. Prophet Muhammad was given the Quran, this book. One of the names of this book, Quran, is Al-Shifa, the healing. Because every word of this Quran is to effect a healing. And it starts with the most prevalent and the worst of all diseases, the disease of polytheism. Since there is but one God, then why should we worship other than God? I don't care how much you love my preaching. I'm not God. There were many great preachers that lived before me, and many will come after me. But God was, God is, and God will always be. So why worship me or any man of knowledge? Worship God. Setting up a partner with God. Making stone God and bowing down to stone when you took the stone out of the quarry and fashioned the stone. Don't do that. Bowing down to drugs like you can't get along without coke or a smoke or alcohol, or bowing down to sex as though that is a God beside God. It is if you make it so. We worship everything but God, and the only way we can come back to wholeness is to start making peace with the Creator and setting up no rival with Him. So when we as Muslims say, which is really the only shahada, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. When you can say that and mean it, I don't have no power or force over my life but God. I will not bow down to anything or anyone but God. When you say that and mean it, you're free. Free forever from all creation. Free. I want to be a free man. Don't you? Yes, I'm just about the freest black man in America or in the world, because I don't have no boss but God. I like it like that. Can't nobody call me in the morning and say, get up, come on to work. I get up between 2 and 5 a.m. every morning. I'm on the job. White folk don't like me, some of them. Some of them have great respect for me. But those that don't like me because I'm not going to bow. I don't care what you say. And I really don't care what you do. I'm not going to bow. I don't see America as more powerful than my God. So I will buck America. I will stand against her evil and defeat her single-handedly with the power of my God. I cannot compromise my principles. Because without principle, I'm nothing. White America has nothing to offer me that I don't already have. But I got something to offer America that she needs. I can offer you life. I can offer America the extension of your time. But if you come after me, my God will offer you death, and quickly. Take it or let it alone. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. But when you know God and when you know His Christ, you can't be a weak woman or a weak man when you know God. When you know God, you can't be ruled by fear. When you know God, you can't be ruled by desire. Remember this, entertainers. Remember this, black brother. Whatever you desire can become your undoing if you're not patient to wait for it to come from the right source. If you have a desire, Satan will say, I'll give it to you, but he'll want you to bow down on his altar. If you can say like Jesus, get thee behind me, Satan, you got power. Before I started teaching, some of my Arab brothers offered me millions of dollars not to preach Elijah Muhammad. I mean millions. If I just wanted money, I would have said, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll take the money and run. No, that's not what I wanted. I knew that Elijah Muhammad had something of value for my people, and I was not going to trade him for money. Some of my dear friends said to me, Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad carries a lot of baggage with him. Why don't you're a leader in your own right? Why don't you just speak and leave his name out of it? I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. I said, because he taught me what I know. And I would be worse than a thief if I would speak his wisdom and don't give him the credit. I can't do that. And if I would rob my teacher of the honor that he is due, what chance would you have that I wouldn't rob you too? So I said, I'll carry the baggage of my teacher. Because Jesus said, take my yoke upon you. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. So I wasn't running from that burden. I want you to know that Farrakhan is not anti-Semitic. I do not hate Jewish people. I do not hate white people because they're white. You're trying to make me a silly man rather than a man of wisdom. If I were to hate somebody because of their color, look at mine. My mother was a very black woman, so my father had to be very light or white. He wasn't quite white, but he was close. So if I'm going to hate somebody for their color, I should have started hating my dad. I'm a student of Elijah Muhammad. His teacher, Master Farad Muhammad, looked like a white man. He was an Arab. He was not white, but he was mixed. His father was black. His mother was white. Now, if I'm going to start hating somebody because of the color of their skin, maybe I should hate Master Farad Muhammad. And maybe there's somebody in your family that you should hate because their skin is too light. That's silly. White people are not hated because they're white. They're hated because of the manifestation of the evil idea and philosophy of white supremacy. And if white people want to be loved, then get rid of white supremacy as a prevailing philosophy that guides your life and become a true human being and act by others as you would have others act by you, and then the world would honor, respect, and love you. I don't hate Jews because they're Jewish. That's terrible. If the Jews practice the scriptures revealed by God through his prophets, they are my brothers in faith. But what I hate, I hate the evil of exploitation. I hate the fact that you hid the truth from us and masqueraded as our friend while you were doing evil to us as a people. That's what I don't like. And if I expose it, then why should I expose it? Why shouldn't I expose it? You know why I must expose it? Michael Jackson must be made free. He's nearly a billionaire, but he's not free. Michael Jordan needs to be made free. All of my brothers and sisters who are artists, you need to be made free. Free from what? Free from outside control that makes you do what you don't want to do. That's why I can say to Jews, like Pharaoh was told by Moses, let my people go, let Jesse go, that Jesse can be the man that God wants him to be. Let black organizations go, that the black leaders can be what God wants them to be. Don't try to manipulate us with your money. And don't you be a nation of beggars. Every time you got a good idea, you got to go to the white man and beg him for some money to put your own ideas across. Talking about we don't have no money. According to the last report we got, blacks received over $300 billion last year. That's bank, brother and sister. You got money, but you're so divided, you can't pool your resources to do constructive things for yourself. That's our problem. We got plenty of money. That's why Nike can pay Michael Jordan millions and millions of dollars, because you got money to buy Nike shoes. They wouldn't be giving him those kind of dollars to endorse their product if you didn't have any money. You're rich, but you're divided. What makes me free? I don't go to white folk for money. Isn't that wonderful? Now that's all right. I got a dead president in my pocket. This is Mr. Grant. And I ain't going looking for a grant from the people of Mr. Grant. But I go to you, because you got Grant in your pocket. Wait. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, my bank is the hearts of my people. And as long as the hearts of my people are with me, I shall never go to the bank with a check. and have it marked insufficient funds. Now, why don't black leaders work for black people? Why don't black leaders work for the hearts of black people? Why are you out here? Because your hearts are touched by Farrakhan. So if I need help, who should I come to? God and you. And because you support me, I can talk freely. I'm going to let you in on a conversation that I had with some rabbis. We were trying to have a dialogue because I believe in dialogue. I believe that when people have differences, they should sit down and talk about it. So I went to have dinner with them because they had come to have dinner with me first. And so they invited me, and 3 years later, I decided to accept the invitation. And when I went to dinner, we had a lovely dinner. It was really wonderful. And we were talking about Mendelssohn. And I guess you all heard that I play the violin. And some of you misunderstood my violin playing. Some of the little brothers thought, oh man, not Farrakhan, he sold out. Farrakhan, so look at him, he's playing Mendelssohn. Man, what's wrong with my man? Ain't nothing wrong with your man. See, I was a musician before I knew I was a Muslim. And the violin was my first love. And the first violin concerto I ever heard in my life was Mendelssohn. And I fell in love with that violin concerto. I didn't know that the man was Jewish because it didn't make any difference to me. He's a great artist. And when I heard him, I was 10 years old, and I said, when I grow up, I want to play the Mendelssohn violin concerto. It was just a dream that I had. And so 2 years ago, I played the violin at the dedication of the mosque 3 years ago. And a woman heard me. We were at the house, and I just picked my violin up and started to play. And she got so excited, she told everybody, he can really play a violin. So the National Association of Negro Musicians had their convention in Chicago, and they wanted me to speak, but they also wanted me to play. Well, I decided after much trepidation, I said, okay, I'll speak and I'll play. Well, I spoke about the beauty of music, which I don't have time to go into today. And then I played the violin. Well, the people fell out. Some of them was crying, and they just couldn't believe that this man, could play this violin. So the brother asked me if he got an orchestra together, would I play at their convention the next year? I said, brother, you got to give me 2 years because I haven't really played in 44 years. And I took it serious. I got me a teacher, and I started practicing. My children would tell you, from 2 o'clock in the morning, I would get up, say my prayers, and practice from 2 to 5, then Fajr prayer, and from 5 to 6, still 4 hours. Then from 6 to 9, my physical training. And then from 9 on, my day began for the people. And I worked for 2 years, 18 to 20 hours every day. So at my 60th birthday, I decided I would play for my community, but it got out of hand. Michael Morgan, the great conductor of the East Bay Oakland Symphony and at the Chicago Symphony at that time, associate conductor, offered me a chance to play with the Oakland East Bay Symphony. And I said, wow, I'll accept that. And I got to work. And before you know it, I had snuck down into a little town in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, to get the feel of playing with an orchestra. And the New York Times was there. And that was it. The next day, it was all over the world. Farrakhan offers a olive branch. I didn't say that. They said that. And you know how they can say things and then believe their stuff. So when that's not a bad thing, an olive branch, because you want peace. So they invited me to dinner, but they thought I was coming to dinner to bow down.
That's right.
And boy, did they get the shock, because they like, brother, I went to dinner, and at the end of the dinner, the man pulled out of his pocket, Mr. Farrakhan, I don't want you to think this is a love feast. If anything, it's tough love. I have a list of things here I would like to speak to you on. You don't have to comment now, but when we go upstairs for coffee, you can comment. I said, go right ahead. He said, you've been saying things in your public meetings that frighten Jews. And we need a history on you of good words and deeds before there'll be any change in our attitude and words toward you. A history. Meaning I gotta say good things from now on. Like Reverend Jackson. You gotta keep on. No. Reverend Jackson been apologizing to them for the Jaime remark ever since. He had to go to Russia and plead for Jews while blacks is incarcerated. Ain't nobody talking for us. He went over to Brussels and he spoke to them and they said, well, that's nice, Jesse, but take that to Brooklyn.
That's right.
And the more you apologize, the more they tell you, too little, too late. Well, they ain't never gonna punk me like that.
Right.
Second thing, he said, now that book you all put out, Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, that is a great calumny against the Jewish people. Yes, we were involved in slavery, but it was only 2% of the slave trade, if that much. But what you have said is that we were the principal architects of slavery. So what we want you to do is immediately disavow that book. Third, nobody who has been anti-Semitic has ever been written of well in history. And we want you to go down in history as the great friend of the Jewish people. And if you will do all of this, we will clean up your image. As God is my witness, this is what they said. So when we went upstairs for coffee, they said, now, minister, you can speak. First, I said, with all due respect, you said you have your truth, Farrakhan, and we have ours. And I said, there is but one truth. You can have your perception and I can have mine, but we have to agree on what truth is. For as long as we cannot agree on what truth is, then there can be no justice in our actions. And then I quoted Isaiah the prophet. Justice stands afar off, equity cannot enter because truth has fallen in the streets. I said, so you need a history on me. I said, but there's more evil on the part of your people toward us than there is on the part of my people toward you and your people. So maybe if there's going to be a relationship, we need a real long history on you. That's right. I said, as far as the book is concerned, I will disavow that book tonight. If that book is false, I don't want any falsehood attached to that, my name. I'll disavow the book tonight. However, I said, we didn't write the book. We just researched what your rabbis and scholars said about your role in the slave trade. So, if you want me to disavow the book, then I want you to stand up before the world and disavow your scholars and rabbis that said you were the principal architects of slavery. And you know what? I didn't hear a mumbling word. I said, I want to be your friend. That's why I'm here. But if being your friend means I have to compromise truth, then yours is a friendship I don't need. And yours is a friendship I don't want. I said, I'd much rather go down in history as the friend of God. And then I closed it by saying, and if you come after me, as long as I stand with God and stand on truth, I'm going to be the winner. And if you inspire the government of America to come after me, I said, as long as I stand on truth and stand with God, I'm going to be the winner. And so, my beloved, I think it's time that we heal the wounds. And I don't know any way to effectively close this message but by saying to you, and I want you to hold on your seats just 1 minute. Please, hold your seats. I don't know any way to effectively close this message than by saying that there is a man that was to come to provide a healing. And the book said he would have healing in his wings. If I open this book, it looks like what? Wings. Healing in the wings mean he's coming with a knowledge that would heal the wounds of the whole human family of our planet. He's called, from the Jewish perspective, Messiah. He's called, from the Muslim perspective, Messiah. He's called, from the Christian perspective, Messiah. Messiah is a man, a real, live, human being in whom God is present. Listen, listen, listen. This is it. He's a man born of a woman. Isaiah the prophet says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and a government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father. He's a man born. What is his name? How are you going to recognize him? The Bible says, I will send my messenger from before my face, and he will prepare the way before me. The Old Testament, or the Torah, closes with the book of Malachi. And Malachi means my messenger. And it says, behold, before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you Elijah. Listen. And Elijah will turn the hearts of the children to their fathers, and the hearts of the fathers to the children, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. What does the name Elijah mean? When Jesus was on the cross, he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Someone nearby said, behold, he calls for Elijah. Let us see if Elijah will take him down. The word Eli means my God. Jah means God. My God, God. My God, God. Some scholars say the word Elijah means the sum, the total, the medicine, the cure, the doctor. And he will come with what? Healing in his wings. Old Testament closes, New Testament opens. A virgin has conceived, and his name shall be called Jesus, and he will save his people from their sins. And the work of Jesus is this work of healing, restoring, reconciling, and making whole. You got to admit that all that we know has not made us whole. Can I tell you something? I met a man, and that man taught me. I'm not the same old Negro that I was. I am a man now with healing in my wings. And yet I'm a student of another man. Look at your Bible. A man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. And on the way, he fell among thieves who hit him in his head, wounded him, and left him half dead in the road. The priest came by. And what did the priest do? He passed by on the other side. The Levite came and looked at him, shook his head, and kept on moving. But the Good Samaritan, traveling in that same direction, saw the wounded man and poured oil in his wound, bandaged his wound, and took him to the innkeeper. Because even though he was wounded, he needed care. He needed time to get himself together. So there was an innkeeper. And the man that healed said, keep him. And gave him some money. And he said, if it's more than what I've given you, I will repay you on my return. Now what does it mean? Jericho was a city of confusion. Jerusalem is a city of peace. When you go from peace to confusion, you don't go up, you go down. A certain man went down. Black man, when you were living in the East, you were living in a state of peace. peace because you are Jerusalem. Your nature is founded in peace, and that's what Jerusalem means, founded in peace. Jerusalem is a city that was built first by the black man. It used to be called Jebus, Salem, Ariel, and when the Jews took it, they called it Jerusalem. Jericho, if you've ever been to Jericho, and Asiel took me to Jericho. His people took me to Jericho. Jericho looks like Lenox Avenue, 47th Street and Cottage Grove. It looks like Watts. Black folk everywhere. I went to Jericho, and I understand what it means. He went down. When we left Africa and came into America, we didn't go up. We went down. What happened to you? Somebody hit you where? In the head. Something wrong with your head, isn't it? It's in your head that you think you're inferior because you were wounded in the head and nobody has poured oil in your wound. Come on, priest. Let's talk, Mr. Priest. And the priest walked by on the other side. When our fathers were in slavery, the church was here. The Pope was here. But nobody healed the wound of the slave. The church walked by on the other side. And even in 1993, the church is a house of entertainment. Sunday morning disco, where you pop your fingers and sing and shout, but you're the same old nigger going out that you were coming in because there's no power to heal you. The Levite, that's the priesthood of the Jews. They come close to you and look at you, and they shake their head. He's in bad shape. We can't help him. Let's keep on moving. And although the Jews know the truth, they have never taught the black man the truth. But the Good Samaritan, he was coming from Jerusalem, coming out of the east, coming to the west, like the book said, even as lightning shines from the east, even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. He's coming out of the east. Why into the west? Because that's where the prodigal son is. That's where the wounded soul is, in the west. And so he came and he found Elijah. And he poured oil in his head. As David the psalmist said, he poured so much oil till his cup ran over. So Elijah met us. And he found us wounded. Everyone that you know that went to the mosque to hear Elijah, or to hear Elijah's student Malcolm X, or Jeremiah X, or Abdul Rahman, or Louis Farrakhan, wherever you heard a student of Elijah, we had healing with us. You came in one way, you went out a new individual, because a healing was there with Elijah. The doctor was there with Elijah. Elijah left, and the nation went down. And your brother, Louis Farrakhan, decided By the guidance of Allah, I'm going to rebuild my father's house. Rebuild it in his name. And I started off with just 2 or 3 people. But what did I have? I had a word. I had oil. And I had a wounded nation in front of me. And I went pouring oil in the colleges, in the universities. Maybe you didn't join the mosque, but every one of you that heard me, the word from my mouth affected your life, and you began to change your life for the better. You have to give credit where credit is due. I met a man, and that man is a doctor, and he doctored on me so that I could doctor on you. Look at the Bloods and the Crips. I listened to their language. Somebody poured oil in their wound. But now they need an innkeeper to help you restore your balance. Otherwise, you'll get sick again. So, beloved, you may be looking for the Messiah in the East, but he showed up in the West with healing in his wings. And although he came to the black nation first because you were the most wounded of all the human family, he taught us in 1930 to reach out for the Native American. He said because the Native American is the original people also. So we went up in the Four Corners area. I went in the Anipi. I looked at the ceremonies of the Native American. I saw wisdom in their ceremonies. And I said, truly, we are family. I looked at their beadwork. I looked at the way they put on their costumes. And during the powwow, I watched the way they dance. And I saw in their dance and in their art, I saw akin to Africa. I saw the same artwork in Africa that I see among the Native Americans. I see the same painting of the face that I see among the Native Americans. I see the same drum, but a different dance, but it's a dance right on. I see it in New Guinea. I see it in New Zealand. I see it in Australia, in the Isles of the Pacific. I see it in Haiti, and I see it in Brazil. Everywhere I look, I see the original family. I see that we now must bring the family back together. The Chicanos, some say La Raza, but Chicano means the children of the land. The natural people in Mexico from a black culture, the Olmecs, the father of that are the original people from Africa. So Chicano, there in Mexico, you see the big heads of black men with thick lips and broad nose, showing you that your origin. And the black man is the same. You built your pyramids in Mexico. We built pyramids along the banks of the Nile. We are family, and we can't let no in-between man, no outsider who wants to be an insider, get between us and cause us to shed each other's blood one more day, one more hour. It must never, ever happen again. Native American, Chicano, black man, time to rise, time to heal, time to stand up and come back to God and submit your will to do the will of God. And when we do that, we'll be able to look at each other across our cultures and our language differences. And we'll be able to smile again and say, never again will I inflict a wound on my own family member. Well, what about white folks? What you gonna do with them? To the whites in this audience, I'll say to you, like I said in the beginning, you got a chance. It's a slim one, but you have a chance. No, I'm not trying to be funny. Because the doctrine of white supremacy is so ingrained in the institutions of America that it makes it very difficult for them to escape. But it is written that some of them would get out. If you turn from your wicked ways and seek God's face and humble yourself and pray, then God will hear from heaven and heal your land. Black man, if you will humble yourself and pray and turn from your wicked ways and seek God's face, then will he hear from heaven and heal this people. Native American and Chicano, if you will humble yourself and pray and turn from your wicked ways, God will hear from heaven and forgive and heal the people. You can't turn on your own. Something gotta help you to turn. Elijah is the axis on which we turn back to the Father. And the Father turns back to us when we start turning toward him. Will you turn? I'm turning, brothers and sisters, back to God. I don't want no power in my life but God's power. I want to be respectful of him, respectful of the earth, respectful of nature, and respectful of all human beings. But I must first be respectful of myself. I must know myself and be myself. I must not stand up and hate Koreans because they're doing business in my community and don't respect me. I know that if I pool my resource, I can set up businesses on every corner in South Central or in Watts, and before long, the Koreans will have to leave if we don't buy from them and buy from ourselves. You don't have to hate somebody for serving you what you could have served yourself. Let every preacher that's in this audience tonight, you have built magnificent churches. Now let every preacher build a business and marshal the talent in your church and the money in your church and set up a business and put the people to work. We can do it. Entertainers, let's pool our resources. Let's set up business now. Train the Bloods and the Crips and let them show the world that they can do for themselves. And if we do this, if we turn from our wicked ways and begin to respect our sisters, our mothers, our wives, if we will never again parade our women before the world like prostitutes and encourage our women and girls not to do that, if we will show respect for self, then the whole world will begin to show respect to us. If we begin to bow to one another, before long the whole world will start bowing to you. It starts with you. So if you make up your mind, we can leave here today and make a change in the world. I ask you, how many of you that listen to your brother today believe that what I said is the truth and is good for all of us? Would you just raise your hands? Raise them high. How many of you that believe it's true? How many of you would stand with me as I speak this truth all over America and all over the world and not forsake your brother who stands for you? Let me see your hands. Thank you. May Allah bless you. May Allah grant every brother and sister who came from a long distance a safe return home. And I pray that this year will be the most progressive year for the nation and for our people. Thank you, Minister Harvey. Thank you, ministers of the Nation of Islam. Thank you, entertainment giants. Thank you all for being with us. May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.